AskReddit buy sale or thrift. Redditors who caught your partner cheating or know someone who knew. What was the most bullshit reason they gave for cheating? She said one of the reasons was because we didn't go to Catholic church every Sunday. She didn't get God's message to stay faithful. Lol, same. She said she lost her religion. And X200B. I to lose my morals in the couch from time to time. You just sit down and into the abyss they go. The first time you cheat, it's hard and devastating. After that you don't feel any guilt and just enjoy it. I was honestly speechless when she said that, but at least she didn't try to give any bullshit answer or lie. We broke up of course, but I admired the honesty. This is the best one because you know there is no hope of a healthy relationship with that person. First it was we're just friends, when I accused him from a gut feeling. Then, when he got caught red-handed, it was she just gets me. She also suffers from anxiety. You don't get what it's like. According to him, people with anxiety aren't capable of being with someone who doesn't suffer from it. She was cheating on her BF who also doesn't understand what having anxiety is like. As a bald man, I exclusively date women with male pattern baldness because they get me. What is so hard to understand? After literally denying proof in his face for about 37 minutes. I'm just really fucked up. He wasn't lying about that one thing lol. Around 37 minutes. I like this. I'm going to assume you were super focused on details to read through the lies. Nice. You came home early from class and barged in on my private time. She was fucking my roommate on my goddamn couch in the middle of the day. Must have been awkward living with that roommate afterwards. My mom told me when I turned 12 about when she caught my dad cheating. He had a job that took him around the country to different states a lot, and apparently he was just sleeping around basically every time while she was taking care of me. She found out by going looking at a text notification that was rather inappropriate when she opened it, then went through the rest of his phone. They ended up in an argument where he was saying she was too controlling and it was her fault he was cheating. The controlling behavior was literally her asking him to do basic chores when he was home instead of away on work. I feel like this is something your mom could have held on to until you were a bit older, assuming she didn't have a specific reason to tell you. My piece of shit father told my mom after she caught him with a woman in their home that he was lonely because she worked too much. His sorry ass hadn't worked in years. It's always the ones you expect. She cheated on me because I didn't get as jealous as she did when it came to other people. If I told a mutual friend I liked her haircut, if I mentioned a female acquaintance from years ago, if I said please and thank you to the lady taking my order at the drive-thru, then in her head I must be fucking that person and I never really loved her. She would always tell me when a dude would slide into her messages, or say something gross, or ask her if she was single. I didn't care, I trusted her, so I brushed it off. That irked her so much that her jealousy was vastly one-sided that when the guy who used to sell her shitty weed in high school sent her a sup message, she went and fucked him, because I never got angry about things like that. Glad you got put because that sounds utterly exhausting. My mom's husband, now ex, tried to have sex with me. I told my mom and Amp, as she was confronting him about it, he turns to her and Amp says well this wouldn't have happened if you had been doing what you're supposed to and Amp having sex with me more. I was floored. That he simply could not choose. He could not leave either one of us alone. That he refused to choose, and he would have us both. That it wasn't cheating, really, because he was going to have both of us. What a... I was told that since I started taking the antidepressants that he told me I should take that our relationship became flat since my moods were regulated and we no longer had the fight makeup cycle, so it was my fault. Fuck. What a royal pig. I know of a serial cheater. They've cheated in every relationship they've been in, but new partners never know about it. Reasons are usually that they are bored of their relationship and enjoy the high of being pursued, desired by numerous people. It's okay for people to not be monogamous, but it should be disclosed to partners rather than just cheating behind their backs. Yeah, if you're honest, it's just polyamory. If you're not, you're a piece of shit. Cause I made him play Cards Against Humanity. First legit justification in this thread. I had a crush on her long before we met, broke my heart. That's horrible on so many levels. I hope you are okay today and that you know he is the asshole and not you. Not my partner, thank God. I'm not breaking up with her because if I break up with her, she will be so devastated, she wouldn't be able to go on. I'm doing her a favor. He was fucking people he worked with, to FWB, to hookups from dating apps, behind his GFs, 6 years. Stored a bag of sex toys he was using on a girl he was cheating with, in the apartment he shared with his GF. Gaslit her completely when questioned. Did she ever find out? No excuses. He was just incredibly pissed his wife wouldn't join in. Then he tried to call in sick to work to sort it all out, but it's a small town and the boss told him he wouldn't feel sick if he hadn't been screwing around on his wife. Now get to work or you're fired. I was a co-worker. It was an interesting week. Turns out there was also an axe murderer on staff. Unrelated to the cheater, just an interesting place to work. Eater. Actually, the axe murderer killed his boyfriend's wife. So sorta related, I guess. Did you work at a produce company? We had someone decapitate a co-worker and killed a couple more a few years ago. I never worked there, but it was all over the news. After she told me she had slept with 2 other guys into consecutive nights, she told me it was my fault because I had left her alone. Meaning, I had just dropped her off at her university after we spent spring break together and went back to my own university. As a chick, I hate this narrative that women can't think for themselves and can't control their actions. You weren't here to tell me what to do. I need a man to tell me what to do. What do you want me to say no to these guys? That's not very ladylike. She decided that she was simply allowed to, because she had proof that I had cheated on her first. That was like a decade ago and to this day I'm still pretty curious about what sort of proof she could have since I never cheated on her. You never asked for the proof. He bought a prostitute off of Craigslist and after I begged to know why, he said he wanted to know what it was like to be with someone her size. She was smaller. So I lost 100 pounds in 6 months and then left him. I lost a grand total of 380 pounds that year, 100 through hard work and dedication, and an additional 280 pounds by dropping his ass. Can you buy prostitutes on Craigslist? I didn't know that. Me, you sent my friend a dick pic? Him, I was going through a rough time. A guy I knew in college cheated, said it was because this new girl could read him better, then set up his girlfriend with lessons with the girl he cheated with so she could learn how to read him better. It has been over 20 years and he is still single and complains about it a lot and I can't imagine why. Someone I used to know would constantly cheat. He once told me he had never been faithful to any girl. I figured as much, since he had a kid with his high school girlfriend, and then had another kid with her best friend a few years later. One time I asked him why he could cheat but if his girlfriend did he'd leave. He said, and I quote, "Because I'm a boy, boys are allowed to." Like bro, don't rope me into this, I'm nothing like that. Also said he'd disown his son, the person he constantly said was his best friend, if he turned out to be gay, but would be fine with his daughter being gay because then he wouldn't have to worry about boys. He had a child's view on everything, and came from a very Latino machismo kinda background, which doesn't excuse his behavior but certainly explains it. She is 100% disabled with MS, fibromyalgia, SP, and epilepsy, so I worked 2 jobs, 14 hours a day to care for her. Her reason for cheating on me? Because I was never home. Chronically ill girl here. Sorry your effort wasn't appreciated. He's handsome, such a bright guy. We divorced, no idea what she's doing now and don't care. My friend's husband said he needed an ego boost because he had low self-esteem.